a lot.
Okay. So as I was saying, the first steps to building an application is the database. And again, if there is no database, then you have to think of what the person is going to do, the procedures he or she is going to perform, because the procedures will tell you how the application should behave, how the application should act, how the application should run at the end of the day. So knowing that would inform you on what to do, how to do it, and so on and so forth. So that is very important. After you have set up the database, the next important thing is to design your pages. So it is there that you would pick a form and design. At this stage, you people have done the designing thing enough for you to know how to design. Then comes the hard part. Because you see, anytime you are given a system, you must design the database. And in designing the database, as I said, I know I'm repeating myself a bit here, but let me see if I can use this to help. So it's T, T, okay. So in here, let let the thing open. Uh, okay, since this is a delay, it should have come by now. The other way around. Let me see. So understandably, the idea is quite simple. The first thing you will do in building any application is the database. It is very important that you understand how the database is structured. And when I say the database, I'm not just saying like an empty container or something like that. I am referring to the information you keep. So over here, I have my database, for example. Now in here, I'll say I have a table. So let's say I create a table, extra large, and let's say the table is the database itself is for, let's say a blog, all right? So I want to keep a daily blog, quite simple. And then I need to create a database. So here I have my blog. This is the blog, right? And then I need to create a database. So over here, I will create another thing and I'll call it, let's say, user, because a user will have to come into my blog. Okay. Now, here, I must define what makes someone a user. And this definition is the definition I am defining. It has nothing to do with anybody. I am the person designing the system. So whatever I say you are, you are. Whatever I say you are, you are. So for my system, I'm saying that for you to be someone who can blog, you have to have the following things. So you have to have an ID. You have to have a name. You have to have a date of birth so that I can know what kind of information I can give you. Because it's not every information that I can submit to you. So what kind of information can I give you in the blog? I need to know your username. I need to know your password. So this is the information I would need for you to make a blog. I have to also go and consider other things that are important. So you see, before I even start coding, before I start, and coding is the last thing. Coding is the very bottom of everything. In here, I have to ask myself another question. Okay, if you're a user, you can make a blog. So everybody can come there and then make a blog. So the blog itself. I need an ID for every blog. I need to know the title of your blog. I need to know the content of your blog. I need to know the blog data or the blog itself. So let me say the blog because I have no better name. I need to know the time you are making the blog. I need to know who is making the blog. And it is here that you will see that the who is making the blog will make me have a relationship between the user and the blog table. So right here, without me even going far, I've just made a relationship between the blog and the user. So if a blog puts in data here, I know that if you're not a user, you can't do a blog because if you do a blog, I need to know who did the blog, and this can't work if you are not a user first. I need to know if the blog is active or not. Did we ban it? Is it there? Is it not supposed to be there? Is it in a draft, or it can be published to everybody? What is the status of the blog? I need to know who has liked the blog, or what word do we give those things? The liking and all of those things. What do we call it? The reaction or rating of the blog. So before I even go and put in code to code the blog, before I even go and say, hey, I want to code a blog, I have to do this. And doing this doesn't mean that every single thing here would have to be on the interface. Like here, I have to add the time the person created the account. So that if you want to say, oh, this is your 1 year anniversary, 2 year anniversary, we can do all of those things because we know the time created. But when you are creating the account, I will not put time created there. That is, if I go and open my page and then I create a place for the person to type the name, I create a place for the person to type the date of birth, I create a place for the person to type the username, I create a place for the person to type his password. I am not going to add ID and then the time created. I won't add that. Because the ID and the time created, I can add it in the background. If I go and take the blog page and I want people to create a blog, I'll create a place for the title of the blog. You realize that I don't create a place for the ID because the ID would be handled internally. So if I create a place for you to type in the ID, then I'm not handling it internally. I'll create a place for the person to type the content of the blog. I'll create a place for the person to type the blog itself. I'll create a place for nothing else. because the time the blog was done, when you click on the button, I'll know the time the blog was done. The status of the blog, I can give it to the person to add the status of the blog so that I can know, oh, is your blog on draft or do you want to publish the word blog? So it is not everything that you would put in the database that the user will see at his hand. Some things are there, they must be done by you. For example, the rating. You don't rate yourself here. So it means that when we create a third page, because we will need a third page, where we will have the title of the blog. So the third page we will create will have the title of the blog, we'll have the content of the blog, if it is educational, whatever. Then here we'll have the blog itself. Then at the bottom here, we'll say, do you like it? Then the person can say 3 likes, 4 likes, 5 likes, 6 likes, or you can say 1 tick, a heart, or whatever. Then we'll go and add it over here in the rating. So you can see that before I even start doing anything, based on the information I'm drafting in my head, I am creating the pages that would be created for me to develop the application. If you can't imagine it, you can't do it. You must be able to imagine it. You must be able to see it. You must be able to see the things working. You must be able to know that when the person comes onto your page, the first thing in which I will do is I will let him or her try and log in. So the person will come and have a login page. If the person cannot log in, then I'll take him to the registration page to create a registration. Once the person is registered, he will go into the blog page. Then, if the person just wants to browse other people's blogs, he can go to the view blog page. So in this application, I have 3 pages. The login page will be coming here to the user page to take the username and the password. Here, the registration page will come and fill this, and this, and this. So this page is a checker. This page is an inputter. Over here, I'll have this page for me to input data. This place is just going to retrieve data and view. That means that if you don't know how to input data, if you don't know how to go and retrieve data, you don't know how to do anything. You don't know how to build an application, because whatever the application is, if it is school management system, document management system, finance management system, you have to put data in somewhere and go and retrieve data from another location. Do we understand? Please, do we understand?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Gone are the days whereby when you are learning because exam is coming. So if it is this, then it is supposed to be this, so that exam when it comes out, just do true and poor and pass. Yeah, it's archaic. I should be able to tell you to build any system, and you should be able to build it. Because you should understand that, okay, if I want to build a system, what do I need first? You just start from there. Don't rush, don't overthink it. What do I need first? Okay, if I need this, then I'll need that. How do I link this and that? Because a database is interconnected data. That means if I did this and I did this and there's no connection between the two, I haven't done a proper database. If it's a relational database, I haven't done a correct job. Now, based on your classes in database, you should be able to connect to a database. Once you have done that, The next thing is to design the form. Once you have done that, the next thing is that this form you have done here and this database you have done here, they are two different things altogether. One is a form written in VB. One is a database written using MySQL. They are two different things altogether. They are not the same. They are not the same. They are not the same. So in here, the first thing I need to do is to create the connection string for the database. Now, you see, here is where you must have an understanding of what we are doing. What are we doing? When I say connection string to the database, why am I creating a connection string? Why is a connection string important? Why is it necessary? Why is it necessary? Why do I have to create a connection string? Why? Because if I am telling you that the database is over here, so at this juncture here, I have my database, and at this juncture here, I have my phone. What is stopping anybody from just coming to the database? Anybody can just get up and say, hey, let's go to database and go. Anybody, regardless of who the person is or are, they can go into the database and jump in there. So you need a key, you need a specialized process. You need to have something that will make the person know that this person who is coming to me, he is a genuine person. This person that is coming to me, he is a correct person. I can work with him. I can store data with him. I can use him. So over here, I have my connection string, which is this. Now, based on the database you are using, the connection string can be different. If you are using an Access database, how you connect to the Access database would be different from how you connect to a Postgres or a MySQL. It really doesn't matter. What matters is that all of them, you can connect to them. If I want to connect to a MySQL database, then I require the server name, the database name, the user ID name, and the password. So if I don't have these four pieces of information, I can't connect to a MySQL database. If it was an Access database, the things I would need to connect to them would be different. It's not about chewing the thing. It's not about standing there and say, okay, I want to chew. Let me chew that thing. No, it's not about that. It really isn't about that. It's about understanding what you are doing. But you see, this we have created here is not us connecting to the database. It is a string. which means that we have just created a statement that will make us connect to the database. If we actually want to connect to the database, then we'll have to tell the computer that it should use MySQL connection to connect to the database. So over here, when I say using Con as MySQL Connect, I am actually telling the computer that I want to physically connect to the database. So open a pipeline for me. So this would go and run and create the connection and put the connection that it has created into Con. That means that every time I say Con should open, I am telling you that my database is open to you. I've opened it. How do I know I've opened it? Because I have the connection string, which is my key, and I've used my key to open the connection to the database. But if I have opened the connection to the database, what can I do then? Because it's not just about me opening a connection to the database. If I want to go and ask the database a question, if I want some information, if I want to delete something, if I want to update something, if I want to do something in the database, there is a certain command I have to give. So I would say using MySQL command, so MySQL command, this word here, MySQL command. And if it was an access, it would be only DB command. If it was MSSQL, it would be MSSQL command. They are all the same. The structure is the same. One thing which I love about programming is that the coding languages are the same. Now, this statement here is also going to perform a command and give it to CMD. But what is it going to perform? It is performing the connection you did. Because let's look at this logically. You are saying that, oh, I want you to go and do something in the database. So this query here is what you want to go and do in the database. But what database? So you are telling them that go and do this in the database that I've opened the connection to using the connection string. So if the connection string doesn't connect, you can't go there to do anything in the database. So in this case, I will go and prepare a statement that will run. And a statement that will run is this: a string. Simple enough. Select ID, name, and email from the users table. Well, simple enough. This statement cannot run in the VB. It is a database statement. So I have to take this statement, go into the database, and run it over there. So I'm taking the statement, putting it in a variable called query. So when I get here, technically what I'm saying is go and run query here. So I'm doing this. But doing this doesn't make it nice. So we just put it in something, then we come and reference the thing over here. So let's look at this logically again. We are saying the computer should go and run this inside the database. This is a selection statement. So when it goes into the database, it is going to select an item from the database. That is what it is going to do. It is going to select items. So when it is done selecting the items, what should happen? What should happen? So again, we are going to use the OnlyDB adapt or MySQL adapter, or if it was Access, it's OnlyDB adapter to go and take the items that you have run. So you see, watch it very carefully. We have prepared the connection. We have prepared the connection to the database over here. We are going to run that connection so that we can have a pipeline to the database. We will say open our database. We will prepare a statement to run to their database. We will take our statement and the connection we have done and go and run it to the database. Now we will tell this person that the statement we have run, if you have got something, keep it in adapter. But this statement we have run over here, we are telling the computer, go and put what you have gotten into adapter. But adapter is an object. It is not easily usable. That is why in most of the code you see, they will create a virtual table called data table. And then you see them saying that go and take adapter and fill it into the virtual table. So all we have done here is we have prepared a statement into the database. We have run the statement so that it can create a connection. We have taken the statement we want to run. We have run it with the connection we have created. We have gotten the results and put it in adapter. Then because adapter is not easily manageable by VB, we have gone and told the computer that create a virtual table and put the data in adapter into our virtual table so that we can then manipulate the virtual table. Is that clear? Every class in which we come, it is me coding on the screen. As I said, today, I wanted us to have a discussion on how to build an application and how to control the application in which we are building. I am going to send you a PDF of everything I've discussed today and a step-by-step of the structure, how to create a table, how to connect to the database, how to design a form. I'll send you a PDF of all of those. You have one job. Your job is between now and next week, create an application for like follow along the PDF to create the application. Now, that is going to be your assignment too. Simple enough. So if you're able to follow the PDF to create the application, then you have marks for assignment two. That's all. If you can't create it, then it means you have no marks for assignment two. Is that clear?
Okay, sir.
You will submit it by end of day next week, Sunday. Oh. Next week, Sunday, I have a funeral to attend to for my uncle. So I will not be in class. Yes, I will not be.
Our deepest condolences.